Well, hi everyone. If my voice sounds a little bit different, that's because it is 5 to 1 in the morning. This is my five to 1 in the morning voice. And I was lying in bed, falling asleep. And as has happened over the past like 20 years, when I'm lying in bed, falling asleep, that's when some of the form to some of the things I want to create takes place. That's when it like comes together. And so I had this whole, I don't know, script coming up in my mind, and I thought, you know what? In keeping with the past few days, I'm turning my white noise app off, and I'm turning on the light, and I'm grabbing my podcast microphone, which I have brought with me because I'm in Italy, and I'm actually in the same hotel where I gave the yoga and meditation city break in Rome over New Year's 2019, 2020, just a couple of months before the pandemic descended. We were here in this hotel. And so I was, well, it's a long story and I'm going to get into it really quickly, but I just felt the need to share this. This is like Italy Part 1. That's the name of this podcast episode. Um, Late last year, actually not late last year, probably a year ago, maybe just slightly over a year ago, I was asked to officiate a wedding for a friend of mine who is also like a client, student, um, which so often happens in my career. These people who I initially meet either professionally or through a friend, they become friends. And it's just one of the perks of what I do. It really is. But I was asked to officiate a wedding, and the wedding took place in Montreal, end of last year. But I was also asked to officiate a symbolic version of the wedding here in Italy. And I was asked, would you do that? And the answer was, yes, I would. And so when it came time to planning the trip to come down here, I thought, you know what, I'm going to tack on a little bit of time before, a little bit of time after, go to Rome because I love Rome, and planned the trip, and decided that when I was in Rome, I was going to stay here at this hotel because this hotel just brings me so much joy. I love it. I love the location. In Aventino, it's sort of up on the hill, and it's close to Testaccio and to Trastevere, but it's away from crowds really. And I have fond memories of doing the trip here with the gang that was here over New Year's 2019 2020. So long story short, when I was booking it, or shortly after it was booked, I was speaking to my oldest friend, and I don't mean that in terms of how old she is, but we go back to like the 80s, and we are still as close, if not closer, almost 40 years later. I was speaking to her. She lives in England, and I just said to her, look, I'm going to be in Rome in June. If you want to meet me in Rome, come. And she got back to me and said, there's no way in hell I'm going to Rome in June because it's going to be as hot as hell. So would you meet us in Turin, her and her husband? And I said, yeah, sure. I didn't know where Turin was. I had no idea. But anything, if they're going to come meet me somewhere, I'm going to make the effort to go meet them because her and her husband are two of my closest, oldest, best friends. And so we planned that, and cut to me flying to Italy last week with like what I thought were allergies, but was in fact a chest cold, which wasn't COVID, but still a chest cold. I flew over, and I don't fly on planes, so I watched about 8 episodes of a show overnight. Landed in Rome, went to the train station, was there long enough to have a meal, and then immediately got on a train to go up to Torino. Went up to Turin, a nice little 5 plus hour train ride. And by the time I got to Turin, I could barely spell my name, but I had rented an apartment for the one night that I was there on my own before my friend showed up the following evening. And I'm usually very diligent when it comes to booking rooms, especially if I know I'm going somewhere where it's very warm or potentially warm, at the time of year that I'm going to visit. Long story short, I got an apartment in Turin that had no air conditioning. And I think that my logic when I didn't insist on air conditioning was that it's northern Italy, it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. I got there after traveling for pretty much 24 hours, dragging, may I just add, my suitcase, which I'm in Italy for 2 weeks. So this suitcase it's like at home, it's sort of like a three and a, well, a two and a half. It's a small apartment. I mean, it's probably about like 250 square feet, that kind of thing. And I've got my backpack. So by the time I got to Turin, I came out of the metro, and and that was another thing. I vowed that I wasn't going to take any taxis. So aside from the taxi that I took to get to the Montreal airport, I've been taking metros and trains, and really like making an effort to do the work, to do it that way. And who knows why, but it felt important. So by the time I got to Turin, I came out of the metro and sort of found my way to this apartment. And the host's girlfriend met me and brought me up. And she left, and it was only after she left when I realized that there was no air conditioning. And it was only when I realized that there was no air conditioning that I realized that I was sweating like I was being interrogated for days and days and days. The heat in Turin was shocking. The humidity was shocking, and the lack of movement of the air. There was no air. I've never felt that before, and I've been all over the world, Asia, Costa Rica. I mean, Montreal. I've never felt heat like that, where it was not only hot, but it was like 1,000% humidity, and like okay. So honestly, the first night, well, that night, I was in bed at 3 in the morning. I fell asleep at 10 after not sleeping for 24 hours, or no, even longer. I fell asleep and then woke up 2 hours later, which always happens on the first night when I travel because I never sleep on planes. Woke up and was up for 3 hours, and I was lying in bed dying of the heat. There was no fan, there was no nothing. And so I'm in bed naked, and I just look over to my arm, and I just started to blow air on my arm just to feel air circulating. I just went I ended up falling asleep. Anyway, that's how I lull myself to sleep. I'm very self-soothing. Anyway, long story short, next day, end of the day, I drag my 2.5 suitcase with my backpack out of that apartment, across 3 blocks where my friends had rented another apartment, this beautiful 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 balcony, air conditioned apartment. And I got there before they did, and they had brought friends of theirs who are also friends of mine. And so I took a moment to luxuriate in the space and in the coolness, and just had a wonderful, 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 wonderful weekend with them. All of us shocked at the heat and the amount of weight that humid air can have, especially when there's no circulating air. I've really never seen that. That weekend, well, this past weekend, it was almost like it got so humid that it would just have to start raining to wring out the humidity, and then it would stop, and you would think, okay, we're going to get a little bit of a reprieve, but no, it would stop, and you'd have like 39 seconds of, okay, I can breathe, and then all of a sudden, you would feel it. You would feel the humidity descend again. Honestly, I must have some sort of internal barometer that the second it started happening was just like, abort, like leave, get out of here. Anyway, long story short, we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I mean, listen, these are my oldest friends. Like, to be able to see them is just such a treat, and it's such a gift. And so they left this morning, and shortly after, I left the 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 balcony air conditioned apartment and took the subway back to the train station and got on the 5+ hour train back down to Rome. And I have to say, I was feeling a little bit emotional when they left, just because I'm not great with goodbyes, and I always want to see them more. I want to hang out more. So they left. I was feeling a little bit bluesy. Anyway, figured it out. Got on the train, came down to Rome. I actually had to take a cab. So let me just fess up and get real. I had to take a cab from the train station in Rome to this hotel because there's no way I was going to get here otherwise. Like, I don't even know if there's a bus that comes up here. Just because it's up on a hill and it's out of the way and whatever. Got to the hotel. I have a different room than I had 4 years ago, and this room, it's not big, but it is this hotel. The thing I love about this hotel, it's as if Donatella Versace threw up every single Versace collection going back throughout history, and then came up with this hotel. I love it. I love it. I have got the most ornate headboard. I'm the only thing missing from my headboard is a lion or 2 lions flanking each side of the bed. This room is so extra. I love it. I've got a bathroom where like you step down into the patent copper tiny tiled bath slash shower. It is so extra. I'm going to take a photo and put it up on social media so you know what I'm talking about. This place rocks my world. When I got here, I was so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. I can't even I hope you can hear it in my voice. Listen, you better be hearing it in my voice because it is 1:05 and I'm talking about this shit. So I must be happy. I get to the hotel room. I'm so happy. I shave my head, wash my face, change my clothes, decide I'm going to go out. I head out, wandering around. I got like a little bite, not a meal, like I just like a snack. And then I just kept walking. I actually went to the metro. I went to the metro near here, brought back so many memories of being with the people who were on the trip 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. Got my metro card, decided to just get in the metro and just like wander, just get to know Rome again. And after doing that for a few hours, I came back and realized when I got back that like I had eaten a little bite, but I was starving. I hadn't eaten a lot today because I took the train. So I'm just going to fess up and get real here. I talk a lot about if you want to find the things that are going to bring you joy, ask like the 9-year-old version of yourself what he, she, or they would like, and then do that. Give that version of yourself the thing that they would like. As I was coming home earlier, realizing that I was hungry, I downloaded a food delivery app. And when I started scrolling through what the options were in terms of who was open, I mean, listen, I'm just going to fess up and get real with you. I was like looking at McDonald's, and then I saw Burger King, and Burger King was rated 9.4, and McDonald's was rated 8.8. And listen, for those of you who know me, I don't eat this stuff generally. I eat like really well. I think I eat really well most of the time. Tonight, I couldn't give a shit. Tonight, the 9-year-old in me was like, ooh, you're getting Burger King. So I ordered, you sitting? Are you sitting down? I ordered, and first of all, okay, hold on, no, second of all, there's some of you who now are groaning thinking you went to Rome and you ordered Burger King, and the answer to that indignation that I can feel from you is, yeah, fucking right I did. And you know what? I loved it. I ordered a chicken sandwich with bacon. I ordered like a bacon a burger adjacent type thing. I don't 2 burgers. I had 2. I ordered 2 and fries, and I plowed through that shit. I sat down in my hotel room. I opened my laptop. I watched an episode of a show that I've been watching. I got my fast food. I like inhaled it with such glee and such joy that whatever judgment you may have about, oh, you went to Rome and you had Burger King, I couldn't give a fuck. I just had the best night of my life. And you know what made it even better? I'll tell you. I finished eating. I wrapped up all of the packaging in a garbage bag and sealed that garbage bag so that I could hide the evidence. Even though this is evidence, I just needed to hide the evidence from whoever's going to clean this room tomorrow. Truth. And then I was like, you know what? I'm taking a bath. So I started filling the bath. And this is like a chamber. This bathroom has like a chamber bath or a bath chamber. I'm not even sure what you would call it. It's so over the top. I think they've given me the honeymoon suite because that bath is next level. You step down into it. And the thing is, the water pressure here is sort of like a geriatric, like spitting on you. So it's like insignificant. So it literally took me about like 25 minutes to fill the bath, like an eighth of the way up. I didn't care. I was so happy. I got into that bath. I like put some of my bath gel in. I let it foam. I was frolicking. I had my laptop up like on the floor level because I had to look up at the floor level. That's how deep this thing is. I was watching, I was washing, I was digesting Burger King in Rome, honestly. And then, whatever, I got out. It took about 90 minutes for the bath to drain, but that's another story. Um, got into bed, watched another show, and all I keep thinking is, I am so happy, and I did this for myself. Like, I knew this was going to cost money. And listen, I don't make tons and tons and tons and tons of money. I make what I want and I make what I need. But I will spend what I want to have moments like this. I made this happen. I just had a night that was so fucking amazing. This was amazing. This is going to go down in the book of my life as one of the highlights of my life this night. And all it took was essentially just like a Metro card, forgetting to eat a proper meal, and then technology. Really, it's all down to technology. I could book the room, order the food, watch the show, all because of technology. But honestly, I mean, there's a part of me that is so proud of the other parts of me that made this happen, that stayed true to it, that didn't talk myself out of it, that chose this hotel and stayed with this hotel because I went on a million times to see if there were other places I should stay at. I'm so happy I didn't. I'm so happy that I listened to that part of me that was like, yeah, get the Burger King. Because I've got 49,000 other cognitive parts that would say to me, no, don't do that. Because I would be hearing other people going, you went to Rome and you had Burger King? And the answer to that again is fucking right, I did. Oh my God, best night ever. Ever, 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 ever. Tomorrow, I've got a full day here. It's going to be, honest to God, hotter than hell. And I'm here for it. I'm going to be sweating it out as I pound the pavement, as I do as many record stores in Rome as possible. That's my day tomorrow. That's my only priority. Tomorrow night, I'm meeting up with friends from Montreal who are here in Rome. We're going to have dinner. It doesn't get better than this. It does not get better than this. And I guess, number one, I'm sharing this with you because I just think that some of this is so fun that it needs to be shared. And there are a lot of you who may not know this side of me that, like, I don't know, just gonna be stupid and silly and, flippant and carefree and whatever. So I wanted to share that side of me too. But I think the real reason I wanted to, record this and get it out now while it was bouncing around in my mind was because I didn't want to just stay in bed and tell myself, oh, record it tomorrow, get to bed. Because today's not about structure necessarily. It's not about discipline. Today's about joy and fun and doing stuff for myself and having like a party for one. Oh my God, I've had the best party for one today. I can't wait for it to continue tomorrow. So yeah, let's hope that it's not so hot that whatever vinyl I buy, doesn't melt as I walk out of the stores with them. But listen, all this to say that I will be heading to the wedding in a few days to officiate. And then I'm going to be back here in Rome for another 5, 6 days. And I'm very excited about that. And all that to say that the things that we can accomplish when we set our mind to it, number one. Number two, the opportunity travel gives us. I mean, really, I was nervous to make my way up to Turin and to make my way back. And, it's a lot of trains. This trip is a lot of trains. But you know what? This country is so good with trains. Everything has gone so seamlessly, so effortlessly. I'm proud of myself for doing it, but I'm also just really grateful that it's so easy to do. But traveling alone, like travel is one thing because you learn so much about yourself and about other people. But traveling alone is a very, very different experience, and I'm really grateful for it because it really shows me all the different cognitive parts of me that come up when I'm unsure or when I'm, not in my element or not in my environment or don't speak the language or don't know what the customs are, or get to see my best friends and then have to say goodbye to them. I'm sort of approaching all of it with no expectation, but like I can't explain the joy I felt when I walked back into this hotel room, and then all of a sudden it was just like one thing after another. This is what I'm doing because I want to. And that experience alone, to be able to travel to the other side of the world and then just like have these experiences, it really is soul expanding and fulfilling, and pleasing. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it to everyone to travel and to jump beyond whatever cognitive parts are telling you not to because you shouldn't. What about the money? What about the time? What are people going to say? What if you don't have a good time? Blah, 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 blah. Just do it. Just do it. And if you can travel, at least get to wherever you want to go on your own. It's huge. And for some people, it's an actual challenge. I've seen so many people who have come on so many of my wellness trips throughout the years say that for them, part of the obstacle that kept them from doing it for so long was the fear of traveling on their own. And once they got over it, it was like this like expansion, total expansion. So yeah, all that to say that I had Burger King. I came to Rome and I fucking conquered. Okay? So much that like I got Burger King. Okay? I need a crown. I'm just saying. I'm happy I got all that out. I hope that you're still listening. And I hope you're not thinking, what the hell's going on with this dude? What time is it now? 1:16 in the morning. Bram's going to bed now. But I do promise I will be back with, Italy Part 2, maybe even Italy Part 3. I'll keep you updated. But listen, so far so good. There's been a lot of all of it, and I'm just very, very glad to be alive and very happy to be here staring at this headboard that honestly even the Versaces would think, oof, I'm not sure. I will leave you with that. Sleep well. Take care, everybody.